Hi, I thought I'd make a video now on nutrition and the food that you should be eating bodybuilding. I've had so many people ask me about what kind of food that they should be eating, and it takes a long time to try and write it on YouTube, so I thought a video of it would probably be a lot easier, and then you could kind of see what it is and the way that I end up eating. Now, one of the things I want to make absolutely clear is I'm not saying that this is the only way that you should be eating for bodybuilding. There are loads of different ways that you can eat for bodybuilding. I've just found that this actually is a simple way for me and is easy for me to be able to eat on a daily basis to get the kind of results that I want. Now, you need to appreciate that there's two things that actually you require in order to build, two main things. One is protein, which is for the muscles. So without protein, you can't build your muscles. And the other one is carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates is for your energy, so it's your fuel to keep you going every day. One of the things you need to do is to have 6 small meals a day. Now, the reason why you break the meals up throughout the day is so that your blood sugar levels stay up and they're not fluctuating, so your moods are a lot better, you have an awful lot more energy, and it's a lot better for you to eat that way, and you kind of can keep the weight off because your stomach doesn't go bloated out by eating too much in one sitting. So 6 small meals. Now, I know there are people who prefer to count calories, there are people who prefer to weigh their food. However you choose to do it, that's your choice. I've just found that this way is the easiest for me. And what I do is I work on portions. And I use a fist size. So you'll see a lot of the comments, that's exactly what I'm saying. A fist size of protein and a fist size of carbohydrates. Now, if you're particularly overweight, you would actually use slightly less carbohydrates than a fist size because you're wanting to burn off the fat. And if you're reasonably thin, then have 1.5, even 2 fist sizes of carbohydrates so that you can put on the extra weight that you want. But eating over 6 meals, what it'll do is it won't allow you to put on loads of fat. You'll actually be able to train and put on and build, but not build with a load of fat. Now, what you also need to realize with the body and how it works, if you try and starve and cut out eating normal meals so that you can lose the weight, your body will automatically, it's just designed that way, to hold on to the fat. So what it'll do then is it'll allow you rather to use muscle for fuel than keep the fat, so that on a rainy day it can use that fat if it really needs to. It's just the way that we're designed. So you trick the body into believing that it's getting more than enough food by eating spaced out meals like that, every 2.5 to 3 hours. Now, the other thing that I'm asked a number of times with food is I'm asked about when should a person eat. Before training, during training, after training, when is the best time? And there's a simple common sense rule. If you're overweight, train on an empty stomach and don't eat for an hour after you've trained. Your body keeps burning fat for up to an hour after you've done training. So if you've eaten during the day and you train in the evening, then you'll need about 3 hours before you actually train, and then don't eat for an hour after you've trained. If you're a thin person and you've got protein snack bars or anything like that, you can eat them before, after or during. It makes no difference at all because you're trying to bulk up and you're trying to put on weight. I personally, because I've sort of lost a lot of the fat that I wanted to lose and I'm starting to get to the shape that I want to be in, I will have a protein drink round about 30-40 minutes before I actually train. Some people say have it after, some say have it before. I think you must do what you believe is right for you. For me, I think that's right. I'm not saying that it's perfect for everybody. Do what you believe is right for yourself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just explain a little bit about the food that you need to eat. And there's various stuff that you need. So I make it very simple. And I work on a system where if I need fuel for my motor car, I don't care what the pump looks like, so long as the fuel that's coming out is okay. So I'm quite lazy and I don't make the meals that appetizing for how good they look. All I'm interested in is the food that comes out. So the first thing, protein. I eat a lot of chicken, okay? And you can see these are 2 little chicken pieces, about a fist size. Important, removes the skin. So always just pull the skin off and cook it without the skin on. If you cook it with the skin, there's an awful lot of fat in the skin. And you can grill it, you can boil it, you can even fry it if you use sesame seed oil, which is a good oil for you to actually use. So it's excellent for bodybuilding. So you can actually do frying, and if you want to do stir fries, you can do that with sesame seed oil. Don't use normal oil. It's not really that good for you. Okay, I'm just going to turn off while I wash my hands, because one of the things you don't want to do is touch chicken and then go and touch other food stuff. So always, if you're using chicken, make sure you've washed your hands. Don't touch other food with once you've touched raw chicken. Okay, don't worry, I've just went and turned off and washed my hands and everything so that I can touch the other food. Now, I can't eat this, but I can tell you this is one of the best proteins you can actually get, and it's cottage cheese. Low-fat cottage cheese. It's dairy, obviously, as you can appreciate, but it is brilliant, brilliant protein. And you can actually have it with something like this, which is yogurt. And this is a good yogurt. And if you mix the two together, and this too is about a fist size, so you can see the container is about a fist size, that's a fist size, mix the two together, and it's almost like eating pudding, but it's a fantastic meal, a really good balanced meal for you. Unfortunately, as I say, dairy and wheat I'm not able to eat. Eggs. Eggs are a big part of my diet. I eat a lot of eggs, and what I do is I eat the egg whites. Now the egg yellow, a large egg, can have up to 5 grams of fat in it. So that is the reason why you don't really eat the egg yellows, the yolk. What you want to do is you want to eat the egg whites. And there's about 3.5 grams of protein in the egg whites. So whenever I'm having protein shakes, or if I want scrambled egg, you can actually, those that can eat bread, can have whole wheat bread, brown whole wheat bread, which is the good one for you. It's a carbohydrate. And you can make yourself scrambled eggs on toast, fist size, remember, so it's only one reasonable medium slice of whole wheat bread with 4 or 5 eggs, whites. Make it into a nice scrambled egg. You could probably leave 1 with the yolk in and do 4 without their yolks, and you can make up your scrambled egg. You can make an omelette. There's loads of different things that you can end up doing with eggs. So I use eggs often, but I use them in protein shakes, and I'll explain that to you just now. But eggs are an excellent source of protein as well. Of course, then you've got, which I have quite often, and where's my little tin? There's my little tin. Tuna. Now this is very cheap and excellent protein. There's like 27 grams of protein in that little tin. And as you can see, it's a fist size. So I have one of those, and if you took that and used a potato, and you can bake the potato, a baked potato in the microwave, 4 minutes for a potato, nearly a fist size, so that's a perfect one. Cut, and that put over the top of it. You can use a bit of ketchup if you want to. Don't go overboard with using condiments and stuff like that. But absolutely perfect, and it's a really good meal for one of your meals. I often have fruit. Remember, this is a carbohydrate, then a banana, so kind of almost a fist size. So it's a banana for your meal, along with a protein. Now, vegetables are really important, because there's 3 major things. I've told you about the 2 that you need, which is your protein and your carbohydrate. But vegetables actually give you the roughage and stuff that you need so that you can keep clearing out your system. So vegetables, fruit, anything that you want to have with it, that's not a problem. I have a lot of salad with at least 2 to 3 of my meals every day. And about, again, I would have almost a fist size of salad. But you can have carrots, you can have carrots, onions, cabbage, anything like that. Just make sure that they're a reasonable little portion, boiled. You don't want to end up having fried food. Stay away from that. But you can do, as I said to you, stir fry. So you can cut up the carrots, you can cut up the cabbage, you can make them small, you can take your chicken, slice it into small bits, and you can make yourself a nice stir fry, and it's a great meal. Butterfish size, so if I cut all of that up into little strips, put it into a pan, bit of sesame seed oil, and I can actually have a fantastic stir fry. The other carbohydrates that I use, obviously, is rice. Brown rice, extremely good for you, a really good carbohydrate. An outstanding carbohydrate is oats. So you can make yourself up a porridge in the morning, and that is brilliant carbohydrate. Remember, a fist size is what you need, and you will require a protein, so think about it. You could possibly put some cottage cheese over it, whatever you fancy. One of the things coming from Africa that we enjoy very much is maize meal, and we make a very thick porridge out of it, or you can make it into a porridge, and it's similar to an oats porridge. I love maize meal, so I will actually put my eggs over my maize meal, and for me that is a fantastic meal. My grandfather taught me that many, many years ago, so I thoroughly enjoy that kind of food. Of course, you've got other carbohydrates, which is macaroni or pasta, and you can use it whichever way you want. Well, this one here is a spaghetti, so you can use macaroni, spaghetti, pasta, any of those kind of things. But remember that when you cook it, a fist size is the carbohydrate that you're allowed. So that's what I end up, if I do have, well, this stuff here I don't eat because this is wheat processed, so I can't have this kind of stuff. Now, salt. I use salt, but you know, I kind of understand how my body is. So there's some days that I'm not interested in salt at all, and some days I need. Now there's just so many conflicting stories on salt. Some people say you shouldn't touch it at all. Others say you should take salt. You know, and everybody has their theory on it. I go by, if I feel like a bit of salt, I have a bit of salt on my food, and I kind of enjoy the food with the taste that I have. The next time, I might not want any salt on it at all. So I trust how I feel. And that way there, I think I'm doing what is right. People will tell me, well, maybe you shouldn't. I leave that entirely up to you. If you feel that salt is bad for you, don't have it. If you feel you'd like a bit of salt, have it. I'm saying you make your own mind up. Don't go by what I do there. This is what I do because I want to enjoy the meal how I want to enjoy it. Very, very important. I just put this here so that I can show you what 2 liters of water looks like. That is what you should be drinking every single day, 2 liters of water. So space it out during the day. It helps flush everything through your system. It helps you, and it is fantastic for your body. It's natural. It's great. Fizzy drinks, try and stay away from them. Don't get involved with fizzy drinks. And if you want sweeteners or anything like that, one of the ones that we use is not an aspartame-based sweetener. We rather use a saccharin-based sweetener, because aspartame tends to affect the joints and everything, so it's not, for me, I don't believe that it's a very good one. Okay, protein drinks. Now, I unfortunately have run out of protein drinks, and if you can take dairy products, then whey protein is probably one of the best ones you can take. And I used to, a while ago, used to take protein in whey protein, and it was a brilliant protein. Now I have to go for something a little bit different. I use a soya protein. I've run out, unfortunately, so I've ordered. This is the milk that I use when I'm actually mixing up my drink. I don't use ordinary cow's milk because it's dairy. So I use a soya milk, and my protein is actually a soya protein. If you are going to mix up your protein drinks, use a skimmed milk. Okay, you don't want to be taking in loads of fat. You're trying to get rid of fat, and you're wanting to build good muscle. So I just went down to my local supermarket while I'm waiting for my new proteins to arrive, and I bought an ordinary Slimmers diet drinks and powder. And they're absolutely perfect. They're almost the same as an ordinary good protein, because they've got their protein in there, they've got carbohydrates, they've got vitamins, they've got minerals, and they're pretty good. So they haven't got quite enough protein for what I need, so I actually add an egg to it, so that I can make up the little bit of extra protein that I want. but they've certainly got sufficient carbohydrates in it. So I just use the powder, or there's the ready-made milkshake, and I add it into my blender. We'll use a blender, and we'll make up our milkshakes. Now, with regard to the amount of protein an individual needs, there is huge conflicting stories on this. Depending, big bodybuilders will go up to 3 grams per kilogram of their body weight. I personally try and stick around about 1, maximum 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now a kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Okay, so you can work it out for yourself how much you actually need to end up taking in grams. So if you're 85 grams, you want round about between 85 to 130, about 130 grams of protein per day. And that will sustain you for the type of training and everything that you end up doing. I really hope that this is going to help you to be able to make up some good meals, eat correctly, give you some ideas on what to do, and let's hope you can develop and build the kind of body that you really want. Thanks very much for viewing this.